Attention! Please be advised. The following episode contains spoilers. Don't say we didn't warn you.
When she's wet, when she goes under
Yeah.
water and stuff. Oh, it's going to
Good,
come
good,
up.
good save.
Let me.
Oh, no.
When she's wet, I mean underwater. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Nerd On, the podcast you didn't need but deserve, where all levels of nerd are welcome.
Yes, you are.
Even if you are going to Zalem or you're not going to Zalem.
Or
Yeah.
your body parts are made from another girl's body.
Yes.
Yeah.
Today we are talking about Alita, Battle Angel, in a spoiler-full discussion, probably the biggest live-action manga adaptation America has ever produced.
Yeah.
In this show, we will guess that grump, and then go over our initial reactions, and then go into some info of the film, such as the brief synopsis, the history, as well as the production. And then we actually get to our meat and potatoes of the show, our favorite parts, favorite characters, our qualms, and then we're going to rate. And if we have some time at the end, we're going to gush.
Oh, yeah.
This is our
over the
new
place.
updated format, so please let us know at the end if you do like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, to get into it, my name is Tom, and I'm accompanied by...
Ali.
Caitlin.
I'm Corey.
And I am Josh, and this episode is brought to you in part by our patrons over at Patreon. Patreon is a membership service that allows you to support your favorite characters.
Yeah.
Like us.
My
Favorite
guys.
characters.
Favorite characters.
Favorite creators like us.
Character
for
creators.
as little as $1. As little as $1, you can support Nerd On.
1/5 of a cup of coffee.
And you can get bonus episodes. You got a Discord community. You have all sorts of good stuff. So just check it out, patreon.com/NerdOnTV. Yeah.
Nice.
And
That's the housekeeping.
yes, it is.
Housekeeping over.
Short and sweet.
And since this is an episode that we can rate,
it's a completed series.
completed series, this brings us to our first segment where we can guess that grump.
She's an angel, but she's also a battle
dun,
damage.
I'm not even going to participate
No.
in that.
That was my favorite
No.
part of the movie.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Was
That's
that
close
solo?
For everyone at home, if this is your first time listening to our show or watching it, then just know that at the end we do a rating, and it's a scale out of 1 out of 5, 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest. And whoever picks the lowest rating, no matter how high the number is, you are the grump of that week. And so if you're Ali, doesn't have Batman, it's lower than a 4. If you're Caitlin, you like the Thing, then you typically like put it as a 5.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
so.
So even if you're a 4.9, if everyone else did 5, you're the grump.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And we encourage everyone at home to play along. So send us
Write
what
it
you
down.
think of the movie out of
Which
1 out of 5.
we have had 4.9 grumps.
Yes, we
have.
have.
So,
It's not unheard of.
And also send us who you thought would have been the grump, and then you'll get a spoiler at the end of the episode. Since I explained, I'll go first, and I will guess Corey.
Okay. I will guess Caitlin. How rude.
I also guess Corey.
Oh,
I feel like you just did that just to spite him.
Yeah.
probably a little bit.
But
Yes.
I'm going to guess Caitlin, so she can't spite me.
You and me going down together.
2 on Corey, 2 on
I'm
Caitlin.
going to go with Tom.
Okay.
It's my wild card.
Wow.
Wow.
Nice.
You might want to take that card back, but okay. All the votes are in, and now for our spoiler of our Guess That Grump, our initial reactions.
Just right into the spoiler of what we just guessed.
yes. So we're just,
Write down whatever your choice was for Guess
Yeah.
That
Here's
Grump
the
because
thing.
we're going to ruin
In
it right now.
defense, some people have been like, "Oh, I fucking love this. This was great," and then they just totally shit on it.
That's
like
true.
later on. So
Who knows?
it is possible for it not to be a spoiler.
and so
Just saying.
That's
for our
true.
initial reactions, what'd you guys think? Anyone jump in?
I will say that I really enjoyed it a lot. There were some things that we'll get into later, but I watched it and I was entertained, and I'm glad that I saw it twice. So
Yeah,
Shout
I
out.
agree. Weta Digital kills it every time. Like, these are the guys who did Lord of the Rings, which is like my favorite franchise, but they also did, like Avatar, and they unfortunately did The Hobbit. But they've done a lot of the Marvel movies are also in partnership with Weta, and I think they just make things that shouldn't look real. Like her face comprehensively should not look
Her Powerpuff Girl
real.
face.
well, it's like Tom
Her
said.
head is so big.
Yeah.
Tom was like, "There's CGI, and then there's the good CGI."
Then there's good CGI.
The
And I
good,
told
good,
Tom going
yeah.
in, I was like, I'm so nervous because, like, a big qualm for mine, if you go back and listen to the Ready Player One episode, was the fact that there was so much CGI that it hurt my brain.
Right.
Yeah.
But they killed it. They were great. It looked beautiful.
I agree with that. I had a fun time watching the movie. It was really enjoyable. A lot of really fun parts. But yeah, the CG was the thing that impressed me the most. But it still didn't impress me enough because, as we'll get into in a moment, I don't know. I want to go back to our Infinity War episode and see how much we talked about the CG in that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you don't talk about the CG, it's really, really good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the fact that it's sort of like on our forefront of our brains. I don't know.
Oh, like we're
We'll get
sensitive to it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Caitlin.
Every time I've had someone ask me, "Oh, you saw Alita, how was it?" My response always starts off with, "It's really hard to translate manga, anime stories to movies."
It is.
And I feel that is true for this as well. I don't regret seeing the movie. I really liked it.
I chose wisely.
But but it does have some it's breaking some new ground with what it's doing.
Yeah.
So I'm not opposed. I liked it. I liked the movie.
Someone's got to trailblaze.
Someone's gonna trailblaze. Yeah. So
What about you, Tom?
and it was pretty.
I fucking love this movie.
Yeah.
I was like really like super scared. I remember like looking on IMDb when it first like was like announced, and this was like back in the day when like The Rock was supposed to be Johnny Bravo, and so like there's so many like this has been like again James Cameron style like been in like announced for 10 years. Yes, The Rock was going to be Johnny Bravo.
Uh,
Are you serious?
And that was going to be.
So
that's
how do we
fucking-
get that to happen now?
Tom, very important question. Answer the question.
Ted Turner's company needs to figure that shit out.
Let's start a Twitter
Ted.
poll.
Ted,
But
please.
yeah, and so I've been, I'm a big anime fan and manga fan and all that stuff. And so this was very important for me to watch this and see something that was like a really, really as true as it can be for an American audience.
Yeah.
Because the things that you could be true and it just doesn't translate.
Yeah.
But then you could do this and then it translate well.
Well, there's always it's a different medium.
Yeah.
It's the same thing translating a book to a movie or a movie to a TV show or a movie to but like it's gonna change
You're gonna lose
because
something
the
from-
way you're intaking information is different as well.
Yeah.
because you're not reading it.
So they have to find when you translate a book or manga or whatever you want to a movie, you have to walk that line of will this work in this medium, even though it works well here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adaptations are tough.
I mean, I read something that was saying that it was a good adaptation.
I think it's a
on-
good
on the-
adaptation.
like it was.
But that doesn't make it a good movie.
No, I
Do you know what
understand
I mean?
that.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just
that's my
on
point.
the adaptation.
Yeah,
point.
no, I agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I really liked it, and I would watch it again and again and again. That's how I
And
feel
again.
about it. And so Ollie, you fucked up.
I did.
So that tells us pretty much how our ratings are gonna go. But some information. We're gonna go do a brief synopsis. Really quickly. So we have a little bit more time at the end of the show to talk about it. It starts out in the year 2563, 600 years or 300 years after the fall of man, and we have
Or the fall.
Yeah, we have Dr. Dyson Ito going through the scrapyard that has the fallen pieces of Zalem, which is this elevated heavenly like city
The last floating city.
yeah, it's like heaven that's above Iron City, which most of the film takes place in. All the film takes place in, and he finds the bust and head of Alita, and later on builds her, gives her a suit. She discovers she's amnesia.
Gives her a body, rather.
Gives her a body. She has no memory of anything that's going on, so she has to figure out what life is like. And the film goes through,
And
pretty
he
quickly.
gives her the name Alita.
Gives her the name Alita. And I'm going to use the Ollie term. Life development ensues. She meets a boy. She finds out what the city revolves around, which is Motorball. She sees how it's lawless. There's no more cops, bounties, bounty hunters, and she becomes a hunter warrior bounty hunter. Finds out Dr. Dyson Ito is one. She finds out that her body, or she came from Zalem, which is like again coveted city, which has technology, which is the United Republic of Mars technology, and so she's like next gen technology. She has enough power to power the city for years.
Just in her heart alone.
In her heart alone, she finds a Berzerk battle suit, which is from the book, that is pretty much her final form, her perfect form, which she is pretty much the most highest trained assassin warrior fighter during the fall, during the big war.
Yeah.
And uses a fighting technique called Panzerkunst, which was mentioned very quickly in the beginning of the book. And later on finds out that people do shitty things, and she has sad moments, and
Her boyfriend's killed.
people betray people, and people kill people for no goddamn reason. Pretty much at the end, leaving us with a battle-hardened, a more mature adult Alita about to get her way sent to Zalem to fight Nova, who has been the presence-like antagonist throughout the entire film.
They're taking quite a big chance of assuming that there's going to be a sequel.
Yeah.
They took a
yeah.
big chance.
Very
It's-
big chance.
Yeah. It's funny with Robert Rodriguez directing the film. It's like Sin City 2, we didn't need that. This,
Yeah.
we need the sequel,
Yeah.
and hopefully you get it.
Yeah.
Um,
And hopefully it's not 15 years later like it was with Sin City.
Yeah. So a little bit of the historical reverence of the source material. The book has been, I don't know, it's been like widely awarded. It's pretty much like I would say like Akira in terms of like groundbreaking, and it's the animation style is very nice and sweet, but pretty much it's a legend, and people have been wanting to get this adaptation made for a long time. I remember when I was like really young, I would see like pages of this on like GeoCities or GeoCities.
Actually, this
Yeah.
works out perfectly.
I
There's
do.
a quote on the back that is from James Cameron that says, "Just a great kick-ass story."
There you go.
Thanks, James.
and it plays
I think I'll produce it is the part that's not on.
yeah.
and it plays very shonen-like, where there's just a lot of action, freak of the week, and things happen there. But yeah, it kind of toes the line in between what Ghost in the Shell did, where it like talks about humanity and what does it mean to be human in a cyberpunk world. And then now to the production of the film.
Yeah.
So it's distributed by 20th Century Fox, directed by Robert Rodriguez, who is best known from El Mariachi, From Dusk Till Dawn, The Faculty, Spy Kids, Sin City, and Machete.
Wow, Spy
Producers
Kids.
James Cameron, who did Terminator 1 and 2, Aliens, Avatar, Titanic. I think it was Corey who said it. Of course, he did this movie, or he had to make this movie Alita because.
Oh, that wasn't me.
Landau, one of the other producers, was like, "Well, of course we have to call it Alita Battle Angel because Cameron only does A&T movies."
Because
So-
the real
the
real
titles of all of his
It's
movies.
Battle Angel Alita.
the real adaptation to American. The name in Japanese is completely different. Other producer Jon Landau, who did Honey I Shrunk the Kids, Dick Tracy, and then the rest of the James Cameron films. David Valdez, who's the executive producer, who did Pale Rider, Unforgiven, Line of Fire, Green Mile, Book of Eli, I Am Number 4, Beautiful Creatures, Transcendence, and the Point Break remake.
Oh shit.
So he's doing some things.
He's got some
doing some
work.
things.
He's done a few things.
David Womack, who's the associate producer, hasn't done a lot of other credited things, but is the associate producer of this film. Writers James Cameron did the screenplay. Laeta Kalogridis, who did Birds of Prey TV show, Night Watch, which I love that movie. It's a Russian film.
Nice.
Shutter Island, Terminator, Altered Carbon, and is
Oh, wow.
announced to do a Sword Art Online TV adaptation.
Yep.
Live action?
Live action. Robert Rodriguez also worked on the screenplay. And then the book
Good.
by Yukito Kishiro. I'm looking at Caitlin as if hopefully she got...
Yukito Kishiro.
There you go. Who did the book? The cast, Rosa Salazar, who plays the titular character.
Snaps.
Killed it. Who is Maria
good job.
in American Horror Story. Has been in a lot of College Humor and UCB shorts, and is the voice of Copperhead in Arkham Origins, and most notably seen in the Maze Runner franchise. Christoph Waltz has been acting in the 70s since the 70s. He makes sure he says that in every interview.
Yeah.
The
'Cause
Dr.
everyone thinks he
Ito?
just came about
Yeah.
as Inglorious with
The
Inglorious
Ito.
Bastard.
I thought you were going to talk about Hugo next, so I was really like, he's been acting for how
No.
long?
He made a deal with
he's
the devil.
100 years old.
Yeah.
Oh my
He
god.
looks that way.
He's
since
in.
birth.
I fell in love with Christoph Waltz in Inglourious Bastards.
As you do.
As we all did.
As
yeah.
you do.
Django Unchained, Legend of Tarzan, and in the Zero Theorem.
I pretty much like him in anything that he does.
Yes.
Jennifer Connelly, who was in Labyrinth, Beautiful Mind, Requiem for a Dream, and is the voice of Karen, the voice
Who's in-
of Karen, Spider-Man's Spidey suit.
Yeah.
He's in Beautiful
She
Mind.
was in Hulk.
She is the wife.
Jennifer Connelly.
Oh, we moved on. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, whatever. And
The Incredible Soul.
Mahershala Ali, who's in The Hunger Games, House of Cards, where I fell in love with him there, Moonlight, where he got the Academy Award, and Luke Kage.
And
Luke Cage.
hopefully in the future, Blade.
Oh my
I hope there's a
God.
petition for that already because
Josh's face just lit
Yeah.
up
Well, because
so
recently
hard.
I've really fallen in love with him.
Oh,
like
man.
in anything that he does. And I'm
since Moonlight, like I didn't
would-
see him before Moonlight, but since Moonlight, I've watched everything. If his name's in it, I'll go watch it. And I leaned to Tom watching the movie, and I was like, "Why hasn't he played yet?"
And then Ed Skrein, who is now the Biff of every Hollywood movie, who was Francis in Deadpool. He was in Game of Thrones. He was the first original main writer, but then he left to do Deadpool. And those are
Fair
his
choice.
main roles.
Yeah.
He's good at what he does.
Yeah. The running time is 2 hours and 2 minutes. Budget was $200 million. 170 was in production. 30 million was in marketing.
You forgot Ed Norton.
If he delivers a line, then maybe.
He was an
Yeah,
extra.
And its opening weekend is at 137 million. So we'll probably see it get its money back, but I don't think it's the opening weekend that they would have wanted.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Rotten Tomato score, when I first checked on Friday, was 53. Now it's a 60%. Counting this is the week after opening weekend. So 60% Rotten Tomato score. And that is all of the information that we go over before.
The infos.
Yeah,
There you go.
before
You
our
did it.
meat and potatoes of our show.
All
You
the
did it.
stuff. It's a lot of facts and figures.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I want to get into the fun part?
Yeah.
Favorite parts?
I have it
Always.
written down. I actually want to give a shout out to Weta Digital because there were some other movies I wrote down that stood out to me. Mostly District 9,
yeah.
Man of
Fucking
Steel,
prawn?
Man of Steel, Deadpool 1 and 2, and King Kong. And they've been around since
Wow.
1993.
Wow.
They're
All
created
right.
for
Just shout out to
Lord of the
them.
Rings.
Yeah. Well, yeah, essentially, yeah. I have a few favorite parts I'd like to talk about. Really simple things. So like that part where she goes underwater to go into the ship. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And they're all waiting on land and like, how long can she hold her breath? The little subtlety I noticed that I loved is
Bubbles.
when she comes back. No, when she comes back up, she doesn't like go, she just goes,
Yeah.
so she could have held her breath for
Forever.
hours easily.
Forever.
And just that little subtle thing of like making sure, because of course they had to record that and they had to record, probably ADR that sigh. And it was just like a very intentional little detail that I loved that just gave you an idea of who she is. What were you going to say, Tom? Sorry.
I was like, they actually do that in most recent Superman comic books. They mentioned like, does he breathe in space or does he not need to breathe? He holds his breath
Oh,
in space.
What?
Wow.
Oh my God.
I didn't know that.
So he could
answers a lot of
fly
questions.
across the universe holding his breath.
That makes me
all right.
uncomfortable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Motorball seems dope.
Yeah.
Like I would watch
You know
that.
what's, it was funny? I was watching the beginning part. I was like, of course, there's athletic kids who are mainly non-white people
Yeah.
who are like on rollerblades and doing this cool sport. I was like, go on. I'll talk about it in my part. But
Yeah. That scene wasn't my favorite, but
the actual
the
motorball.
actual motorball was like so fun to watch. And
Yeah.
so well then especially, I mean, obviously, especially the one that she's in, where it's not really motorball, but like seeing her just be badass and handle
And
everyone
fight
just fine. Yeah.
While moving at high
Like,
speeds.
yeah.
Killer. Just absolutely stellar.
Cutthroat Tuesday.
I really liked her as a character. I thought Rosa did so well. Like she carries such a bulk of this, like, obviously because she's
Yeah.
Alita, but like she really elevates my entire experience just
Yeah.
by her being cast.
You know what's funny? I feel like Christoph Waltz does that for me in all the films. In this film, like he took a step back so she can.
Yeah.
Which is fucking amazing.
No, and I think
Yeah.
that was very intentional. And like I'm sure working with Christoph Waltz, she probably asked her a few questions, asked him a few questions, but like he was a really great supporting character because she just like through and through, I think, understood this character and like delivered tenfold
Yeah.
on top of what anyone expected.
This version of the character.
Yes, correct. I have a lot more, but I don't want to take up the entire time as well. Like I want everyone else to.
Oh my
to get in
God.
there.
Tom, do you want to continue that point you had a minute ago about?
The rollerball?
Yeah.
Motorball, whatever the fuck. I don't know. I just felt like Robert Rodriguez does that a lot where he plays with kids and he does a lot of like cool action sequences. Like, but it's not like the actual motorball game that Alita was in, but it's like fun.
Yeah.
And it felt very much like I don't know. It felt like very like 90s. Where
Yeah.
like there's
Playing
some kind of
softball in the
sport.
street kind of thing.
Yeah, and it felt
Trying to bring back rollerblades.
But it felt good. It felt really good
Good
to
job.
see like kids playing in the street, with
Yeah.
the fire hydrant going off or some shit and double dutch going. It felt very cool. But also that's where the social like learnings happen.
Yeah.
Like you learn how to like play defensively or play aggressively during basketball by like playing on the street or playing street hockey instead of playing on the ice. Like the no rules kind of thing that goes on.
I really enjoyed that. It was like it was just so grounded and it gave you a really good sense of just like everyday life, which was important to do for when you're trying to sell a CG character to an audience.
Also, it worked really well for her. Like it introduced the subject of motorball, rollerball, what the fuck it's called.
Motorball.
Yeah.
And also it plays on a second part where like Hugo puts his hand out to like pick her up like he did the first time, and then she says no. And I was
Yeah.
like, it's a really cool, it's a good development because
Yeah.
like he picks her up once, She needs it.
The scene,
She picks it up again. She doesn't need it.
the scene does multiple things.
Yeah, it's really, really good. But that's not my favorite part. But go on, your favorite part now.
There are a few. And of course, I'm going to blank the moment you put me on a spotlight.
Well, you're there.
I really like the moment where she's waking up with her body and she just like touches her lips for a minute. And then
she
her
yawns.
fingers, well, yeah, she yawns and then she touches her lips and then her fingers like stay there. And to me, that read as like, because I don't keep, if I'm going to yawn, it's going to be there for like a second, then I move it. But it's almost like her body was like realizing it was there for a minute.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really, it was teeny tiny, but I really liked that happened.
And how her eyes like open and you see the pupil dilating. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
that's really good.
Yeah.
Because there's no saying how long she's been in that pile, right? She could have been buried and just happened to come to the
300
She
years.
didn't-
Yeah.
She didn't
300
just
years she's been in
Well,
that pile.
yeah.
there.
At least.
She could have been up there for 300 years at this point. We don't know yet.
That's true.
But and then they could have done tests on her and dumped her when they didn't have anything good. But like there is a possibility that she has been there for 300 years.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
to awaken after that is kind of traumatic in a sense.
And that her heart was beating in her hand as she was holding it.
Oh, little detail, yeah.
Oh, the little details
That
were
was
great.
cool.
in
I mean,
this.
I liked the ending on that scene because that scene was like a lot for me at first. I was like, all I could think of was that like
Pretty
overly
intense,
attached
right?
girlfriend meme where I was
Yeah.
like, whoa. But then her saying that, like, yeah, sorry, was like, okay, that
Yeah.
sold
that was
scene
really
for me.
intense.
But to add to that scene where she's first waking up, like I liked it when she touched her like chest part or clavicle. Like you could see the compression of her finger. I was like, oh my god.
I know. The
It's like,
details
dude,
so
yeah.
good.
It's like do the CGI me like your French girls.
Oh my God.
I like the CGI is interesting because I think it worked really really well 97% of the time. There's a few moments where I was like, wait, what? That was a little weird. Like I can't think of anything specific, but there were a few moments where I was like, oh,
So the fair
It's
parts
CG.
are
Yeah, it's on qualms, Ollie.
yeah. But
We'll get there.
but just because you were talking about the facial details and stuff like that. But one of my favorite parts were both motor ball sequences, like the
skirmish.
actual the one
On the actual track,
on the actual track
where
yeah.
she goes to watch it and then the second time she
Oh.
participates.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it was, you could tell it was just them having fun. Like Robert Rodriguez just wanting to have fun.
Yeah.
With the movie, and it was really cool and fun to watch. Like just the action of them racing and fighting with their different weapons, and I thought that was really cool. It kind of, in the best possible way, reminded me of Phantom Menace pod racing.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
That
Yeah.
sequence is still to this day. I've watched it recently, and like the pod racing, they could do a whole movie on pod racing.
Yeah,
I would watch
so I was
it.
like, oh, because they all have their different
Anthology.
pod racers and all that stuff. So it was cool to see that. And we had just finished playing Anthem that afternoon.
oh, so a lot of it looks.
So I was like,
yeah.
ooh, that's a cool color combination. I'm gonna put that on my Javelin. when I get home. So there
I'm gonna
was
put that on my mech.
so it was like perfect.
we
like,
got out of the
sci-fi
movie and he
fodder.
was like, I think I want to make mine like that green one.
Yeah,
Oh, the one that got split into millions of pieces.
Yeah.
With the grind
but
cutters.
it had awesome colors. Okay,
Awesome pieces.
The scene that sold me on this movie was the bar scene where she goes to the hunter warrior
Oh yeah.
bounty
Bar.
hunter bar
Yeah.
and first of all humiliates Francis, but then like beats the shit out of everyone else.
Yeah.
That was the scene where I was like, this is what I signed up for. Like this Alita is the one that I've been wanting to see this whole film, and they did not disappoint. That whole scene was fucking
It
phenomenal.
was really good.
Her fight scene was badass. She, like, kicking his sword to over Francis, and the dog guy just laughing the entire time while it was happening was the greatest
Yeah.
thing in
Yeah.
the world.
the dog guy was probably one of my favorites. Too.
Oh my God.
He's a chill little white guy with a beard. Of course,
Yeah.
gonna be my favorite.
Yeah,
He's actually the pilot from Lost.
Yeah, he is.
I was like, oh, that guy.
He's in a bunch of stuff.
I mean that
he looks
bar
familiar.
that bar scene. I mean, what I loved about it was, she's so sure, and even if the whole world is still kind of catching up, so to speak, to like she's not somebody that you're gonna mess with. But it was just cool to see like she was still delivering her speech. She was still trying to rally the troops and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then she whoops some
Yeah.
ass.
Telling Hugo, I'm gonna need you to stand back.
Yeah.
Way back.
Um,
Thank you.
I
So
know
sweet. So polite.
it's a PG-13 movie, I believe.
Is it?
Oh yes,
Is it?
you're gonna say my favorite part.
I have
one-
it written right here.
This is my favorite
The
part.
one part I just thought was so badass is when she pulls herself up by her fucking arm
And jumps
up with her arm and jams her hand into his face. Well, she
His
says,
eyes.
fuck your
Grishnas.
mercy. And just,
Grishna?
Well, she does it first, and then she's hanging there. And she's like,
Yeah.
"Fuck your mercy," and breaks her
And-
arm off.
I just,
Garushka.
they got their
Garushka,
one,
thank you.
they got their one in there.
Their one F-bomb.
Their one F-bomb. And I was like,
It was the best one.
Which
it was so good.
I'm saying there is a fucking league of like the best F-bombs you can drop in a PG-13 movie. Like I know Saved is one of them.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's with Mandy Moore when she finds out she's pregnant and she just goes in front of the church. She's like, "Fuck!"
Yeah,
And it's like really like in First Class where Wolverine says "fuck off" like one time, like really well placed F-bombs. Like
They have to place them well.
Yeah.
They have to use them. They're like,
you can't
"We're
just
using
squander
this."
it. Yeah. Which you know, it's like, oh, that feels so good. Versus like when you see an R-rated movie, it's like, oh, they just say it.
F-bombs
It's normal.
everywhere.
They normalize it. It's
And then,
weird.
and then as soon as that happens, Ito and Hugo come down, and then the dog guy sicks his dogs on him.
Yeah.
Love it.
Doesn't like
I mean,
dogs.
yeah.
I don't understand.
Doesn't
No.
like dogs.
I like that too.
I don't
Break
like it.
off.
No, he says, I hate that.
Yeah, I hate that.
He's not a dog. He says, he's not a dog person. I hate that.
Yeah, rightfully so.
That made me love him so
Yeah.
much.
He's the best.
Anytime Alita is basically discovering her powers. I mean, that first when she's going out to save, like, she thinks Dyson. She thinks that she's stopping him from doing bad stuff. And then she fucking whips ass. And she's like, and even before that, when we're meeting Hugo and she does this like rolling and thing and like
Grabs
she's
the dog
discovering
and-
her like, she's kind of discovering, but it's just like,
The muscle
it's second
memory's
nature.
coming back.
Yeah.
It's
and
born
like-
identity.
It's when his friend like tries to elbow her in the face, and she just like flips him.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit.
So it's just seeing that, and I really hope that there is a sequel because I would love to see a fruition.
She's
of,
essentially Brick in Anchorman. Where'd you get a hand grenade? I don't know. Like, where'd you learn to do all that shit? I don't know.
No, I would say the pitch for this is Born Identity meets Ghost in the Shell meets
It wasn't
Blade Runner.
serious, Tom.
I'm just saying.
I'm not gonna go to someone and be like, "Look, do you want to see Brick Tamblyn from Anchorman be a badass for 2 hours? Go see it." No.
Well, I
Of
mean,
course, that's not what I meant.
some people pitch
be on the
stuff
DVD.
like that.
yeah.
That's true.
For me, my favorite parts are I call this one collective is every time she looks in the mirror. She does it when she first wakes up. She does it the second time when she
When she's fighting for the first time, and she
yeah when
stops
she
an inch in front of the mirror.
she first figures out like who she is, and then the last time where she's about to go like actually be the grand winner, and then she slices her tear in half.
Yeah.
Which I thought was
was
really cool.
awesome.
I mean, they all have different points of her life where it's like birth and then life and then rebirth.
Yeah.
And so like this film attempts to do a lot of things. It's attempting to make an entire book into a movie and jam-packing like an entire world without like having to do a fucking long narration piece at the beginning of the movie with like a montage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I give it a lot of credit for what it tried to do and like try to do it in a conducive way where it's like telling you as you're going along.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that was like really like, this is good. This feels good. This is more than just like it's trying to be a little bit more than just a dumb Hollywood blockbuster, which it's a Hollywood blockbuster. I'm not gonna, it's a popcorn flick, but then it tries to do a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't go into the existential like humanity yada yada because it's already past that.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And then I think fucking her rollerball fight is top notch. It's like again,
Can't take your eyes off the screen.
it's Michael Bay. Take a note.
Yeah.
like
Seriously.
I fucking
one
lo-
explosion.
But yo, Michael Bay, I love you. I appreciate
One.
you. Bad Boys, fucking, I'm excited. But man, like I can actually see what's happening.
And guess what happens when the one explosion happens?
What?
It's a big deal, and it's like
Yeah.
you care about that.
Yeah.
Well, it causes her to fall, and then the guy with the chain arm fucking grabs her.
Yeah.
But then like you see
Yeah. I think
every
there's only 2 explosions in the whole movie.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, sounds
think.
about right.
yeah.
If you
I-
don't count the little grenade things.
Yeah. Right. No, that's like
Little
that's
fireballs.
napalm.
Those are
That's,
flares.
that's fine.
Yeah. I mean, like, and that's the thing. You see all the action, which I love,
Yeah.
and I like the fact that she says "hiya."
That was like something I was really concerned about going in because I knew it had these sequences and like that scene, the big battle in Ready Player One, like I couldn't follow anything and I had to see it twice because I was like, I'm not sure what happened,
And
and I followed everything in this
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah.
because on that point we went and saw it again on IMAX, and I was really nervous to watch. I don't go see things on IMAX or 3D because sometimes things get like
Too much.
weird.
I do see
And
IMAX,
I was
but
like,
I don't usually do 3D.
whoa, I could actually tell what was going on even in this grand like IMAX 3D because sometimes you watch things and you're like, I don't know what happened, but I think it was cool.
3D still does that for me. Like even watching it the second time in the 3D, I'm just still like, I wish I wasn't wearing glasses.
I saw you were struggling a little bit.
I was like, because I wear glasses, so to wear those over it, I have to literally hold them in place for the whole movie. So I'm a little biased that it's not a great experience for me, but it was beautiful.
I will say this is one of those films that you should probably watch in 3D.
And it was like subtle.
It's not over,
it was
over
subtle
the top,
3D. Yeah, it was just like mostly depth of field.
Yeah.
And
I just
really
wanted
made
to see
things
it.
pop.
I don't know if you
once
saw
like
me.
that.
I was doing this a lot because I like to see like that's not 3D and then that's 3D. That's not 3D and then that's 3D. Because like the middle frame is always not 3D.
Right.
And the one in front and the one behind it is.
Because
I'm
it's the
like,
depth
okay.
of field.
So I was like, this is good.
I also normally get sick with 3D movies, and this is the first time I have not gotten sick.
The only
That's
other
nice.
one I liked in 3D that I've seen was the original Avengers in theaters in 3D. And I was like, because they did the same thing. It was just mostly depth of field stuff. And I was like, solid.
Nice.
Last favorite part. There's a lot of favorite parts.
I have
for me,
one
but-
other one.
so many
But the
favorite
main
parts.
one that I can't take away that it makes me smile every time I see it is
Are you gonna say it?
Have an orange.
No.
No, mine's
Okay.
have an orange, and then she bites the orange, and she has a like face. It's like
It's just like taste receptors are working.
It's so good because it's just such a like a nice real moment. Because if like you give someone something that they've never learned how to eat the orange correctly, like
You'll like it better with the peel off.
she acts very human.
It's
She
that-
she acts like
or
a
like
child.
a
got a human
cat
brain.
when they've smelled something that they hate, and they're like,
But then she just leaves her mouth open. He's just like, okay, hold on. And I'm just like, like it was a really good like establishing like father-daughter mentality. I was like,
and then
yeah,
when
it's
he
really
pops it in his mouth and he's kind of like,
Your
it was a
tear
really
reductors.
cool connection to see.
I loved the examining everything. Everything's working. This is work. Like really gently checking things with her without freaking her
Well,
out.
he says the lines like, well, let's look on the bright side. Your tear ducts are working. And then he bites the orange and he motions to it. It's like, it's a really sweet moment.
I had two other parts I really liked. The first one is Vector's death scene. And how
Yes.
so Nova is speaking through him at the time.
No.
And she stabs him and says to Nova, "You lost another puppet." And she pulls it out and he just looks down and smiling goes, "Well, that looks fatal." And, and he's smiling as he's falling
like-
to the ground and dying and shaking and like
Yeah.
So like because Vector's not there, right? It's all
Yeah.
Nova. And he's just like, it freaked me out. It like legit was like, this makes me feel uncomfortable that he's smiling and joking.
Oh, I love that.
I know, I loved it, but like in the best way, it made me like it should make me
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
yeah. Also, that Vector didn't even know that he died.
Yeah. Vector has
Like
no
at all.
idea. Yeah. The only other part I wanted to talk about, or just mention at least, is when Alita calls Ito father.
Don't feel sorry for yourself. You're the only one built for this.
And then she goes, "Thank you, father." And I was like, "Oh!" And he doesn't react either. He's just kind of like,
Well, because it goes really
I'm
well.
fine,
with,
it's fine.
It goes really well with the scene before. Where it's like, whose body is this? And it's like, I named you Alita after my daughter. He's like, I'm not your daughter. I was like, damn,
yeah,
my heart.
yeah.
God
so
damn.
that when it came full circle, I was like,
One more.
okay.
It's just before Vector's death
Death.
scene, and she is kind of breaking into the building and just fucking up those Centurions. But my favorite part specifically is when she just picks up this giant Gatling gun and just drags it. And I'm like, when that started happening, I was like, what's she gonna do? What's she gonna do?
Poor deck man.
And then when she
Rips
does
through
with it,
it.
I'm like, yeah.
Thank
which is
you.
impressive.
Overkill.
People
Thank
are
you for doing
terrified
that.
of this.
Yeah.
Like they're terrified of those. Like
Yeah.
even there's only one or two out there. When Hugo's dying, he's like, they'll kill both of
I
us.
forget what
And
they're
was
called.
Like,
Do you remember in RoboCop?
Centurions. Oh,
In
no.
RoboCop, the big
I don't remember what they're called.
Oh,
No.
you're talking
Okay,
about
I don't remember what they're called, but
I just
when I
know-
saw one,
Hopefully
I was
Centurions.
like,
That'd be
I
great.
just know in Family Guy they ask for your hall pass in school.
Yeah, but
I think I liked about that scene though is that it's short.
yes.
It's not like the Matrix Reloaded where it's like a fucking 30-minute long fight.
Done.
scene.
Done.
well, it's
especially
not
with-
a fan film.
Well, yeah. Well, especially with all, like
Alright.
400 like Centurions. It's just like
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom. It's like it's really it's
Yeah.
done. All the action you needed is done.
Kicks ass and moves on.
Yeah. She kicks names and takes ass.
Favorite characters?
Favorite character. So we all like Alita, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
What? No, I'm just kidding.
So want to do favorite side characters?
yeah. Mine's a chill little white guy with a beard. It's the dog guy.
Wow.
Like, for sure, 100%.
Okay.
And he was so upset when
Okay,
his
hold
other
on.
dog died.
Let's have a little fun. How about your favorite dog? Of
favorite
the-
dog
of
is
his.
is the little one. He dies.
Fang? So that's Fang.
That's
in-
Fang?
in the
Yeah.
book.
that's my favorite one because I was like, he was sticking up for Alita because Alita gave him a sandwich earlier, and to a dog that is like a Wookiee life debt.
Was it a sandwich? It looked like a burrito.
Whatever.
It looked like a burrito.
I thought it was
Maybe
a
it's
sandwich.
falafel.
I
Who
thought it
knows?
was.
It was flatbread, maybe.
You know what?
Yeah.
I was gonna say
It looked
like
delicious.
it looked like this beefsteak sandwich I used to get from this place called Soul Food, and it's like flatbread on top. Anyway, if burrito sandwich, whatever it was, I don't give a shit. She gave him food, and he was about to do it, and then got killed. And,
It's very
So,
funny.
but hold on, I'll let you know
So
in the
sad.
manga, and I haven't gotten this far because I went to Twitter and talked about it, and apparently in the manga, Ito brings him to life.
the dog,
Yeah.
brings him back to life.
In the manga, I don't know
Yeah.
about in the movie.
It's not gonna
Supposed
happen in
to
the
could,
movie.
But
could.
yeah, they needed him to stay dead for the movie.
Yeah.
yeah, so they could make the
so I
advertising
think-
horrifying.
What's the dog guy's name? Does he have a name?
I don't know.
That guy.
In here, the dog just comes in. There's no dog guy. There's a baby.
They called him something.
Yeah,
it was
they- I
Tiberius or
I
something.
forget what his name is in this. But
I just picked a
the-
name. I
the
hope
dog
it's right.
lord.
Western dog guy.
Tiberius the dog lord is my favorite character.
Yeah.
I like it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
I will just jump on, and
Please do.
I liked Dyson. I mean, of course, it's
The fan?
the
Ito.
no, that's a
Ito.
vacuum.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
know.
right.
I was just gonna say, like, a little known fact. He actually invented fans and
Yeah.
vacuums and traveled back in time.
Wow.
No,
And
You're
gave
thinking of the
us-
8-pound Oric.
Dyson Ito is actually the last vacuum
Yeah.
of Iron City. He is the final form of a
But no,
vacuum.
Christoph Waltz is such a warming presence in this, and like I'm not used to seeing him as like a warming presence because
Yeah.
he's not in Inglourious Basterds, and he's not warming in Django.
Well-
He's funny and he's jubilant, but he
Yeah.
kills
I think-
a bunch of people.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing is that it's kind of like his acting is like deceiving in that way where he comes off very lighthearted and fun and like especially in Django, like the
He's
beer
talking
scene.
about murdering people and slaves.
Like
and-
one of my favorite scenes in that movie, or my favorite scene in that movie is them in the saloon
yeah,
having
yeah,
a beer.
he gives it the beer.
Like that was that's what I'm used to, and then seeing him in this actually be
warm.
like a warm.
It's like
Yeah.
a sincere
person.
niceness instead of like a
Yeah.
juxtaposition. Yeah.
I'm
Right.
not familiar with the original, but dare I say, you'd make a fucking really good Geppetto.
Yeah.
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 He would.
Yes.
Holy
Absolutely.
balls,
Yep.
right?
Very
Wow.
much.
But I'm not. I don't know the actual Pinocchio story.
Disney. I know you're making Pinocchio.
I know
soon.
the Disney
Yeah.
probably bastardization of it.
So
It's
yeah,
much darker.
Dyson,
Dyson
Ito,
Ito.
I really enjoyed. He was just so, he was so sweet, so supportive, just so, and a badass too. I
Yeah.
think like kind of a secret badass.
When he's talking about being a hunter warrior, and he's like, what does he say? What's the phrasing he uses where he's like, it's not a glorious, no, not glorious, but it's not a selfless job or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever that phrasing was.
It's not noble.
It's not a noble. That's what it is. It's not a noble job. And
I
you're
take
like,
the money.
yeah. So he can give people free repairs because he's a nice guy.
Yeah, it keeps the clinic open.
That was also when in the bar when he's like, stop it or no more free repairs, and everyone stops. I was like, oh shit.
and also the look of Zapan.
Zapan.
that was
I was gonna say like
Francis.
do a bonus
Yeah.
and we do
that's
our
my
favorite.
favorite.
Mac.
That's my favorite side character actually. That's my answer.
Yeah.
Zapan?
Zapan.
Yeah, I just loved his design.
His design is
Like,
honestly
it
what
was
is my
cool.
favorite.
It reminded me of Jude Law's character in AI.
That design
okay.
is super different than the book. The only thing they got from the book that's really the same is that little weird symbol on his head.
Huh.
Because like if you see, there's a lot of like Hispanic or Latinx
yeah.
like look, which I'm like Robert Rodriguez, baby. You putting on a British guy. I don't get it, but I get. I love it. Like this, like Tyler
his-
giant
his
back.
back.
It's like
Yeah.
it looks like a kind of like a Mayan skull.
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
I fucking
And
that
his
was
little
dope.
faux hawk thing.
That
Yeah.
was so cool.
On a British guy, which I don't get, but I love it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand why it was on him, but
The little
you know,
goatee.
yeah, that, that's what got me.
in the book, he has like spiky hair and he looks like a regular punk.
Oh,
I don't think he
Should have
even
been
has a sword.
He should have been played by Danny Trejo.
No,
would've
you know
been
who should have been
amazing.
played by Dietro? Garushka.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
But then also
It
I
would've been
liked
good,
Garushka
but
a lot.
I did.
Yeah, yeah.
Like as a villain, he's pretty good.
What's that actor's name? Rorschach.
Yeah, Freddy Krueger. I call him Freddy.
I'll
Krueger.
remember it.
Is
Continue.
Jamie
One day.
Earl some?
Yeah. Haley, Jackie Earl Haley.
Might have been more
Shout out.
intimidated by him if it was Danny Trejo.
in here with me.
Yeah.
That's what he
Jeez.
says in Watchmen.
Kaylin, you're the last. I
I
think.
said
Oh, and
Zapan.
Tom.
did Ali say words?
Yeah,
Said
Zapan.
Zapan.
I said Zapan
Oh,
too.
both of you.
Oh,
yeah.
what the fuck's wrong with you? You guys are evil.
Tom.
Well,
Ito.
you normally.
That doesn't mean I like. It doesn't mean I like Zapan like Zapan's
Kaylin loves
personality.
Zapan.
Wow. Wow, we're gonna start singing the KISSING song
I was
now.
gonna say FUCKING.
Well, I was gonna say KILLING because
Yeah.
he's a hunter warrior.
I actually
You guys could go kill
align with
together.
his morals. So
I'm into that.
Yeah.
works for me.
Yeah. I
You
get it.
uncomfortable now?
Before we
Good.
do, Ito is like when Hugo, whatever the fuck, he's like getting his body fixed, and then Ito just like that, like
Yeah.
he just moves with his hand, like just pointing towards like, let's go see him. It's such like a dad move,
Yeah.
and I was just like,
Like I fixed it, but come on.
like it was so weird. I was getting such like this like imprint version of my dad onto him, where it's like there's a lot of similar things. Like my dad's pissed, I came home late, but there's still food waiting for me, but he'll like lecture me while I'm eating.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to eat anymore. Or like, don't do this, but he'll follow me anyways. Or like, are we going? Are we not going? And then he'll just point to the car and like, I guess we're going. Like, I was just like, man, this is really like, it's so good.
Shout out to my Kempo karate teacher of 15 years, Robert Ito. Keeping it strong. I thought of you the whole time.
Shout out
aw.
to my dad. You don't listen to this, so it's whatever.
Shout out to dads.
Shout out
To Dad
You're good.
and Robert Ito.
But
So-
yeah, you know. And then to
Qualms?
Tom's favorite part.
Yes. Let's talk
Or is
about.
your favorite part the rating? I don't know anymore.
I like both.
Okay.
Because it allows us to like things, but also be to critique them, not criticize, but to allow us to analyze them, look at it, and still like it at the end of the day. Like you can't love things blindly, or else
Yeah.
it'll hurt you in the end. If you
Yeah.
love things understandingly, then you know it'll never hurt you.
Yeah.
Can I start?
Go ahead.
Because I don't normally
Josh
start
will be like, I
qualms.
hate the whole movie.
The whole thing. No, okay, so I have 3 qualms. One, and because I am
I knew it.
I'm a dad of
Yeah.
fur babies.
Uh-huh. Hell yeah.
I-
Pound it.
The,
Fur baby
the
dad. You
dog,
Pound the babies, yeah.
the dog dying, I understand the dramatic kind of reason because it
I
actually
don't.
inspires her to be even more badass, but I just
Should just kill Hugo.
or that or that.
I agree.
That's not what I was gonna say. So there was that.
So just unnecessary in general.
I just thought it was unnecessary that he actually had to die. Like
Yeah.
it was just like
or she.
or she. We
Because
don't
she
know.
was already looking for him, so it's not like
Yeah.
it's spurred on
Yeah.
as much.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
It gave
Okay,
It,
so Hugo gets killed,
yeah.
saved, and then of course we don't know. There's a sequel. We didn't
Oh, he
see
did.
we didn't see a death.
Show me
We
the
didn't see
body.
the body, so he could still be alive. But I was like, that happened, and he fell, and I was like, you should have just killed him the first time. Like,
Oh,
why
the
bring him
writers?
back? Like, why bring him back?
Probably
and
because
then
of what's
have
going to
him-
happen in the next couple
Yeah.
films. But
So it's like,
Yeah.
it is what. That's just. I have to take this movie for what it is, and it's a solitary thing.
To add to that, so I haven't finished this, and this
Yeah.
pretty much has a majority of the movie in there.
Yeah.
And it looks like it has that part where like his head gets chopped off and blah blah, his robot body. I haven't seen like
Yeah.
where he dies or anything like that. I haven't seen a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't explain like him until like after Guruishka dies.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of it's adapted. So like
Adaptated is
Adaptated.
now.
Close though.
those
Most of the letters were there.
Adaptaticizers.
but taters and eggs.
Yeah, I think they just want to stick close to the source. But yeah, I agree. I get that.
And then my last qualm, and it's kind of a biggie. I know that it's beautiful, and I know that she is great. I do not understand why Alita has to be a full CGI character. That it's just something for me for some reason.
I'm
and
actually
it's-
on that boat with you as well.
Yeah,
I
because there were
think-
other cyborgs that had
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to finish yours and go to yours?
human faces, but you can go ahead and tiger pounce on.
Oh. Well, like I mentioned before, most of this movie, a vast majority of this movie looks amazing. Like,
Yeah.
Like the CG work, I was like, oh, about to see her, what they did when she's wet, when she goes under
Yeah.
water and stuff. Oh, she's going to
Good,
come
good,
up.
good save.
Let me.
Oh no!
When she's wet, I mean underwater. Well, good save.
Nice. Good.
Anyways.
You laugh.
Yeah. She rises back up and then you see her with wet hair and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
You see her wet twice. Under rain.
Yes.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know where your brain is going sometimes.
Anyway, Ali.
But yeah, so when those moments happen, that's pretty amazing. But again, I'm conscious of that. I was conscious of that while watching it. Because I was like, it's like I'm giving it a test. It's like I'm testing it throughout the entire movie to see like,
Does it look
you
good?
doing
Does it look good?
Are you screwed up? Like that kind of thing.
So you came at it with baggage a little bit?
A little bit, I guess.
Preloaded
but
baggage?
I did not have that. The fascinating thing about this, and I couldn't stop thinking about this paradigm or whatever, was I don't think about this at all with most other movies. Like mainly
You're gonna say Marvel?
like
movies.
Marvel movies.
You're gonna yeah.
I was like,
So-
you're gonna say
I was thinking of
Marvel movies.
Thanos. Mainly.
So like the difference, I guess, between Thanos and her for me is that Thanos isn't a human, and
Right.
so it all looks foreign. But
Good
now you're
point.
looking at someone who's 90% what we are
Yeah.
used to looking at, so it's going to stick out quite a bit more.
yeah, but that's
And-
also wrapped.
But I mean, I guess that's my only
yeah.
insight
But
to that.
That was also wrapped in like me being curious as to why she had to look the way she did when it's adapted to film. Like you could just have the actress be the actress. That was kind of part of it too for me. But
Okay,
I'm sure there's an answer for it.
We'll discuss a little bit.
yeah, but and I know
I mean,
like
I get
this is
so you're talking about the face
James
mostly because the body is
Yeah, the
totally
body's
CGI.
normal.
It's a robot body, right?
Right.
But her face,
But her face, like, no, even the
she's not a
design,
butterface, don't
like,
call
why
her that.
couldn't she just be the actress? Why did it have to be with the anime eyes and that whole pack, like that whole thing? But I think that was like the question the internet asked when it was first revealed, and I'm sure there's an answer for it. But it's also, I'm sure James Cameron just wants to like have fun and like make something that looks
make
good.
it look
Yeah.
like
And
the
Robert
manga.
Rodriguez is not going to shy away from CGI, as we know.
Yeah.
So
So they're just trying to make it look just
yeah,
like
so
that.
so that I can appreciate, and I really did enjoy seeing her on screen. But there were
And her
like those
acting was
a couple moments where I was like, oh, okay, that's looks a little strange in this particular angle, but it wasn't really. I don't
so
even.
you wanted a little more like Ex Machina,
I guess I don't even know.
CGI
What I
body,
wanted.
regular face, right?
Oh, sure, yeah. that
So
would be
Ed
okay.
Screen and then that one Blade chick.
or just enhance the eyes. I don't know. But that didn't really. I don't really see that as a negative. It's not really a qualm. I wouldn't
It's
say
a
that's more of my
discussion
qualm.
point.
It's a discussion point.
Which I want to jump
I get
on unless you have
interesting
another.
I guess the
qualm.
other. Oh no, go ahead. I was just
you
gonna
can
say
go ahead. We can circle back to me.
the only thing about that is that she's not. The other cyborgs we see are all Earth cyborgs, human cyborgs, half human, half whatever.
Right.
And she is literally from Mars, so they're meant to look a little different, like Valerian or Avatar. It's just a different species completely.
So that's my question then.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if because I didn't see it twice. So was that something that was like
Why she looks
solidly?
different?
Yeah.
Well, at least
I mean, she's
no, the whole Mars thing.
yeah, she's from the United Republic of Mars.
technically.
Well, but I mean, I guess that makes sense. So
Yeah.
is her head supposed to be like a human head
It's all
or like a
Like,
Or
all
organic
that
head.
style is all that
The
kind of is all
only
that.
because
thing
all her
that's-
other squad mates all had the same look.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who
Which
was
that kind of leads.
played by Michelle Rodriguez, aka Letty
Oh.
from Fast and Furious.
Was it really?
AKA Last Zombie Girl in Resident Evil 1.
Shout out.
That leads to my next qualm. So I don't know if you want to talk about the CG
Let's
more.
do all your
but-
qualms and then
okay.
we'll go to mine.
So my other issue was with the ending and it kind of leaving it
Yes.
open to the degree that it did, which would have been fine if I felt like I had a good climax.
I have the same qualm.
with Vector,
and I've thought this through of how I would probably change it.
because I was like, okay, him killing Vector doesn't really impact me in the
Well,
scene.
he didn't kill
Or, I
Vector.
mean, her killing Vector doesn't really impact me in the scene because it's Vector dying, not Nova. And then I was like, she didn't really even inconvenience him that much. Like maybe if she
Yeah.
like blew up the building or something, or like
Started some larger domino effect.
Because it's hard
Yeah.
because he's basically a sentient being, so to speak, and he can possess people.
Well, he's a godlike.
could have
being.
taken
like it.
even if he took Dr. Sheeran like back with her, something in
took
there,
something from it.
like
Yeah.
to like resolve the scene a little bit
Yeah.
more.
She did destroy the factory, which was where a lot
I
of
guess
his
that-
income
that-
come-
that's
it's
a
that,
big
but that's
deal.
not. Yeah.
Yeah,
My
but-
issue isn't even there.
Yeah.
My big issue is where it ends and how it does it. Right. So.
Yeah.
Because I like the idea. Obviously, if it's going to be in multiple movies, I don't need closure to it, but how you leave me is very important,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, for me, right, the thing with Hugo dying the second time is it very quickly happens. Like suddenly,
It's very
she kills
soon.
Vector within like a span of like 5 minutes. She kills Vector. Hugo dies, he falls, and then it's a time lapse to
6
she's the
months later.
champion.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for me, I think what would have left me more excited was for her to come back home, right?
Yeah.
After losing Hugo, after doing this thing, coming back home and being so determined that she's going to get up there, that she's going to go
Register as
the
Like you wanted
motor
almost
ball.
like a
It's
pre,
that
an
fuck
explanation of like,
yeah. I don't really want to miss the motorball stuff.
Yeah.
Like I like that she gets to the champion. That's the route she's
jumps
gonna go
forward.
because I think that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But I would have liked to see the maybe one more scene with Ito at the end where she decides I'm gonna do something about this, and she goes and she's like, I'm here to register for motorball or whatever,
Yeah.
and then it cuts
Well,
out. And
to
then,
me, that would have
And
been
if it
good.
came back to the her with the sword pointing up,
Yeah.
like without the like build up of her in the locker room or whatever, like cut all that out, put the registration before it, and then at the end,
No, I think
No, I don't
Corey would
want
want
any
to
of
just
that.
end it.
None of it at all.
I don't want to end
That
there.
would probably be in the
Next
second movie.
Next movie.
That's what he would say.
Because what I noticed was I was like, there's got to be, when you do a time jump like that, there's got to be a reason for it.
Yeah.
But literally the only thing that happens after the time jump is her pointing her sword.
Well, no, she's about to get sent to Zala.
Yeah.
Yeah, but but it doesn't like.
But to
nothing
take it back a
happens, really.
sec, if she was just like, maybe she's at the registration, they're like, what's your name? And she's like, Alita. And then it's just like, boom, like the credits roll.
Credits.
Like I would have been so happy with
or
that.
what's your name? Oh, and then okay. Sorry, I just want to make sure.
It's kind of like in a
like my view of it. Sorry, my view of it is like, what's your name? And then the title goes.
Yeah, that's
goes
fine.
up.
That's
Okay,
either way.
that's-
Whatever it is.
It's like in the end of Avengers Ultron.
You know her plan, you know what she wants to do, and you're excited to go through that adventure with her. You didn't miss it. I
Yeah.
felt like I missed a big part of her adventure there.
yeah,
Which
to
isn't
me-
necessarily a bad thing because I like where they're going and I
Yeah.
want to see more.
For
But
them cutting forward, I would expect that they would go that extra mile and show you Nova
Yeah.
and show you the city and the people.
but
out
I
there.
think this might be how you felt with Lord of the Rings.
So yeah. Oh, I mean, like for me,
But
like,
for me, that's the opposite. Like that's a badass where I'm like, fuck yeah,
So
let's go
for
on
me,
to work.
like I've already seen all the motorball I need to see.
yeah.
Like that's how I see it. Like, oh, what more are you going to show me? More explosions, or more pieces flying apart?
or like
right?
her in an actual game would be cool.
Yeah. So
And
I mean,
going through.
but
I mean, also it could be a 5 minute or like a 2 minute sequence montage in the first.
and
next
so
film.
that leads me to the kind of idea. Like I'm thinking that and again, it depends if they get a sequel or not. I think they're going to get one.
Probably so.
Is that the second film starts off exactly at that moment, like right when she's about to start her final fight, her final match before she gets sent to Zalem.
Yeah.
Because you start out with an action sequence.
Either way, that's how I would like the next movie to start there, not the first one to end there.
yeah.
Yeah, and I get that. To your point of the CG though, I feel like you have a overall concept idea of like this is a interesting concept.
Mm-hmm.
For me specifically, like I don't like how her face looked like in like three parts.
Yeah.
One when she's on the bike with Hugo. Second time is when she's climbing after Hugo. And the third time is when Hugo falls.
and I'm like, every single of those times, her face looks more feline-like, and I didn't
Sure.
like it. And I was just like,
That's what I meant.
ugh.
Yeah.
But also, I was kind of thinking, I was like, it's a combination of that's probably how the actual Rosa's face looks like sometimes, combined with that. It's like
That's
it's literally the
Yeah.
cacophony between the two.
And you're accentuating the facial features,
Yeah.
so you're gonna notice it more.
For me, I think,
And this is me, right? I don't fucking hang out with Jim and Rob, and John. But I think the real reason they made her all CGI, or at least her face wise, is because they wanted to kind of show a little bit more faith towards the source material
Yeah.
and show that you can sell an anime face.
Mhm.
And like it doesn't have to be like Scarlett Johansson playing a Japanese character.
Fair.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they can
Yeah.
sell like a Sailor Moon looking girl.
Yeah.
They could sell a Powerpuff Girl looking girl. And like I think it also helps because the entire time you are cognizant that she looks different than every other robot.
Well, interesting.
Or
so you brought
cyborg.
that up. What's the? I'm interested now what the ethnicity of the actress is.
She's Hispanic.
What? So interesting. So if it wasn't CG and it was her cast, there probably would have been something
Yeah.
about that.
And so
About her not being
Yeah,
Japanese,
Japanese.
or what? Well, I mean,
instead making her look just more like it.
that's also another discussion where it's like, yeah, it's anime, Ghost in the Shell. Yeah, it's Scarlett Johansson, but is that supposed to be Tokyo? I think
is
it is.
Tokyo.
It is in Ghost in the Shell. Bad example.
But that's all. That,
Well, no,
that-
but also
Ghost in the Shell is a
but
whole
this is
bag
like-
of.
it's a whole
things.
bag of things, but
Yeah.
the creator didn't even give a shit about
The
that.
creator
Was it
said
like
she's a
Paris or
Western
something?
woman.
No, this is all in Iron City.
But where is Iron City?
It's in the United States.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
So.
but like, and all the, so like, if you're talking about the adaptations and shit like that, like the Berserker body is not from Mars. It's more of a European thing because it talks about like Berserkers and Vikings and shit like that.
Yeah.
and so like there's other things that got adapted. So like it's not Gruishka, it's Makaku. It's her body's destroyed beforehand. There's no talking like the body was the daughter's body. Like those are all things that they added to it, which I'm like, those are really good ads.
Yeah.
Anyways, So yeah, is that
Yeah,
those
the
seas-
plot and the story was fine for the most part, and I was really enjoying it. There's a couple cliche things, like her boyfriend being, the cyberjacker or whatever the
Street
hell.
rat.
Yeah,
It's opposite Aladdin.
It's opposite. Yeah, it's that cliche of like of him doing the thing that he knows his girlfriend's not going to like or whatever, and then as soon as it happened, I was like, yeah, she's going to find out and she's going to be mad about it. Which I appreciate that they didn't really like spend too much time with her being mad about it, but still,
So
it
far,
was something that
and again,
you notice.
in the book that I've read so far, like it doesn't even talk about him at all,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
even at the end, it doesn't even show like that was a big part.
Wow.
Like so,
it's the
like-
Hollywood version.
Yeah,
of
because I
the
mean,
story.
like, talk about our other podcast, Trope Time. It's a trope, you
Yeah.
like, and I mean, there's the thing. It's like I was reading it and I got to like the fight underground, and I was like, I don't know where the fuck this Hugo guy is, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is he such a romantic character? But also like he's explaining rollerball, he's explaining like Zal, and he's explaining how no one could get there. It's like everyone plays little Mr. or Mrs. Exposition once or twice, other than Alita.
It's
right?
interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that James Cameron was one of the writers,
Yeah,
and it kind of makes sense.
because he does really simple stories.
Very very Avatar.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's also
Yeah.
kind of like
Simple
to me,
plot.
it's a little Alien too.
Yeah.
It's like very simple, but it's just kind of well done.
Alien
And
2 had enough like other support, like positive, really great in depth like character development stuff that helped it.
like the
but-
Marines dying for no, yeah.
Exactly.
So the thing about this film that it's interesting that you talk about, like it's really simple. There's something about it where like I like, but it's also it's a discussion point. It's
Yeah.
a pretty simple story of like a girl who's trying to find her place in the world and meets a boy and
Yeah.
finds that every establishment's against her.
So it's about the characters more.
Right. But no, it's like there's so many movies that are just like that.
Yeah.
But this does it in the foreground of the cyberpunk world.
Yeah, I'll give it
And it
that.
does it with like this cutting edge technology, and as well as like there's the ghost
Yeah.
of like we don't know what the fuck happened before the world's like this, and so it's fun, but it's also like to me it's like very again like I said it's like very 90s. It's a very 90s
It
filmmaking style, which
Yeah.
makes sense because fucking takes James Cameron 12 years to make a movie.
Yeah.
So it's like the script probably took 12 years to write, and it's like this is it.
Like
But
I
the-
wonder if there's a scene on the cutting room floor or part of the script that got changed that like has her like getting some exposition from the Martian ship or whatever that
I would
crash-landed.
fucking hate that.
But I'm just saying like it would have given you a bit more context for like where she came from or who she but maybe
But
that's
the thing
think
is,
we're
I think
supposed
this
to
is
know yet.
This is where you and I like differ a lot of
Yeah.
times. Like I think for me, like I love not knowing,
Mhm.
and I think you like something explained, so you're not always guessing.
right.
And so I mean, like it's a different type of movie
I
experience.
just took it as that's something we'll learn. In
yeah,
other
and
movies.
I mean,
But I'm also a fan of being subtle with it. So
Yeah.
I don't want to want Jarvis explaining it to me for 15 minutes, but I need something, like a passing glance at something that's on a screen somewhere, or I don't know.
like
But-
Ito telling her.
Something.
But I think that's really my main qualm is just her CGI and her face looks a little off sometimes. I don't care about the differences they made with the adaptation. So like in the book, it's not a dog's blood. They're just downstairs. They're down in the hole and it's like tar.
Mhm.
And the dog doesn't.
That
die.
would have been fine.
The dog hasn't died yet. But then the thing is about the dog dying, like I get how it's really it's a little much, but I kind of like now that we've talked about it, it makes more sense that they do it. I still don't like it that much, but it makes more sense mainly because it's just showing how he's terrorizing her and is like willing to do whatever the fuck he can to like pretty much get at her, which is like makes you hate him more, and it makes you adverse to like the film. So
I think I was annoyed from killing the dog more in that like there was, and this is totally just a timing thing, but like the amount of time that it took for Grishka to like fire at the dog, there was enough time for someone to react in some way, shape, or form. Everyone reacted like after the fact.
Yeah,
But,
the only
like-
one who would be Alita.
Right.
Everyone else said that.
But they
it's not a
didn't-
problem.
I mean, in that
Right.
situation, I feel like they didn't know that
this
he's
guy was
gonna
going to go
do
with that.
That.
Yeah, right.
Well,
I
also-
guess I was just like my like actual human instincts
You're
when I
throwing
saw what was
logic into it,
happening.
yeah.
I'm putting my personal like
Pragmatism.
when I saw what was happening. I like the moment his hand came up, I was like, oh fuck,
Get
like,
away from
the dog.
Don't run that way.
But then because of that, I was like, wouldn't Alita or Dog Guy have that exact same reaction as me, where like the split second where the hand comes up, where you can tell Grishka's about to be an asshole, like wouldn't that have? I don't know. And
It's
that's
possible.
Well, I mean, what's
It's-
funny is
Alita's
my
across
side
the
of logic
room.
goes, there's a part of, they're like, yeah, that guy's pretty fucked up. He's not that fucked up.
Now he is.
But because they're thinking past this guy.
Right.
They all know him pre his new body.
Right.
And so he might have gone a little crazy.
But
And
he
like,
wouldn't
I
kill
have
a
a
little
feeling
dog.
that they're like, oh, he's one of us. He's a hunter
they all know
warrior.
him, right, yeah.
And then that was kind of like the, oh shit.
Well, but even then, Alita still would have responded, especially with her like Spidey sense battle reactions.
Yeah.
Like I
But
guess
she is across the room though, right?
my qualm is that like I feel like it could have cut faster and had her like have any kind of reaction.
Oh, yeah.
Because the reaction when she comes back is like, I'm gonna put this on my face now. Like it was too deadpan. Like I feel that
Sure.
she should have been communicated her anger more rather than like
Oh,
I'm
I saw it
gonna.
as resolve. I
Yeah,
saw it as
yeah.
like, I'm about to mess him up.
And then
Yeah.
That's the way that I
calm-
see
I
her
think-
badass.
well, I think-
calm angry.
I
Yeah.
think to
My dad
add
had-
to your point, like the way she is when she's actually downstairs and she says, "And this is where you're gonna die," could have been done upstairs.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what he's doing.
That's what I'm trying to communicate is that like the timing where she didn't react when he was obviously going to do something, and then her reaction once she like is putting the blood on her face of being like way too calm,
Yeah.
because that's where her anger should have exploded and could have built from there, but like it was just too calm to me. was
Any
just a
other
qualm.
qualms?
I haven't talked about any of my qualms.
Go ahead.
So many.
Besides the ending. These were just little things that took me out of the story. The cell phone in her head bugged me. The fact that wasn't there for a lot of other points where I feel like it would have been used. Like when she was missing and he went to the bar to find her, like why didn't he just call her head? And
She was out too late.
I was
Why
thinking about it.
didn't
I was
he
like,
call?
maybe it's because she doesn't have the Berserker body. I was like, but it's in her head.
But like, does the Berserker body have a cell phone number? But like, you know what I mean? Like, how did he?
Says some
I would have liked.
So in the book, there's no
Ring, Berserker.
there's no phone, right?
Right. So like
it's
for me,
interesting.
I would have loved to either find a way around that or explain to us that now you can do this thing that would have saved some plot early on.
Yeah.
The guy who gets sucked in with the chain, who has the chainsaws for arms, where he cuts a robot in half, but doesn't think to cut the chain or his legs that are attached to the chain, pulling him into a
saved
grinder
himself.
off. Bugged me. Yeah. Because he's supposed to be a hunter warrior. Like he's supposed to be a.
No, that's not.
Oh, he's a murderer.
I feel like
Still.
there would be a release,
Yeah.
you know, like disconnect the chains.
Well, so like it's the other girl's chain that she wraps around his legs and she throws into the grinder. But he's got two hacksaws that he just cut a robot in half with, but he doesn't think to cut the chain that's pulling him in. Like that bugged me for some reason. I don't know why, but both times I saw it, I couldn't stop thinking about that.
What's funny is it didn't occur to me because it happened so quickly. He probably didn't have time to
react.
Well, he
He's
does. He
not-
goes,
he's not
and he claws away, and he even has time to start up his chainsaw as he's being pulled in.
Yeah, but he's also not smart.
Yeah,
They're not
but
hunter warriors.
He's also
He's a
killed a
murderer.
bunch of people.
Yeah.
He's also a killer for hire. He's survived. He's a survivor.
Yeah.
So I don't believe that bit. That's all.
Okay.
Another qualm that's kind of in the same vein is that when Hugo is falling, and the second time I watched it, I looked to make sure she could have like grabbed his torso with her
his
legs.
feet. Yeah.
Oh
With
yeah.
her feet. That's what I was thinking. I was like, she could use her feet.
Yeah, I know. And I was
Because
like,
I usually do that. I'm like, grab my foot. Grab my feet instead. Like, I know those aren't going to slip
Oh
off.
yeah. I get what you're saying.
The only time it's going to slip is because of you.
Yeah.
yeah.
I the guy who played Hugo, man, I
Wasn't a fan.
don't believe him in at all. I would have liked more, but it felt very Disney Channel original movie casting, and not I don't mean that in like
I know
a
exactly
great
what you
way. And it took me out of it. Like the lines where he's like, your girlfriend's crazy or whatever, and he was like, all right, I'll see you later, and she's not my girlfriend. Like I couldn't stand that.
He's
So
like
like that relationship I just had an issue with because I don't think he was cast right. It prevented me from falling into that. Like the Ito and Alita one, I totally got because he's a father who's lost his daughter. She doesn't like he assumes that role immediately. And that makes a lot of sense to me. But I had trouble believing the Hugo Alita relationship strictly on the acting capabilities of the guy who played Hugo. So I would have liked to see someone else in that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. I agree with that. I also didn't, I didn't buy the chemistry between Dr. Shirian and
Christoph
And
Waltz.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they
I
felt
think
like
they wasted
so
her.
polar opposite of like
in that role.
of like personality types.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I feel like
That's what
I mean,
divorce does. to you.
now
could-
they are.
Yeah.
Well, now they
maybe
are,
now
because we don't know.
she got maybe a lot
Divorce
colder.
messes you up.
Because I mean, after you divorce,
And
I don't
the-
think you're going to be
and
lovey-dovey
your-
with the person
your-
you're divorced with.
Your child died,
Yeah.
and that can fuck some shit up.
I feel like they got rid of her too fast. Like there should have been some kind of little thing, because when she's like, "I'm a mother and a doctor," and like I feel
Would
like
you
we
want her
didn't.
to get killed by the grind cutters like the dog?
Well, she gets killed by
No.
Grishna or whatever his name is.
No, or just a little bit more interaction, because the only time we start to see her as like the person that she is that would have made more sense for her to be with Ito is like when she's saying, "I'm a mother, a doctor, and a mother," and I
somehow
forgot that.
Yeah.
And that's all we get, and then she's dead.
I
Well, I
just
mean, I
want
think
to
that's
point
the
out that
tragedy
she's not
behind
dead.
it.
Not dead, but
Right.
now she has
So-
brain and eyes and hands.
Yeah,
I am
'cause she's
upset
a
about her
surgeon.
hands.
That's all
being-
you
She's a
really
surgeon.
are.
So they would save that for
Still.
testing. But like, I do believe that they wasted her in that role,
Yeah.
because I do like Jennifer Connelly a lot. I think she's
Yeah.
a really talented actress.
She
and
came back.
She might come back, right? So, but in this film alone, I think that they either needed to make her part bigger or not have her arc complete yet. For
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Um,
I didn't get enough of her character.
because I really was interested in that whole dynamic with Ito and her, and now her helping Alita. Like, I don't know what I haven't read the manga, but maybe it goes
like
more
if
into
she
depth
had
there.
like it's interesting that we're both trying to think of like how that final scene could have gone differently to make it a bit more of a satisfying ending, and I think it could have involved like higher stakes in that scene somehow, and her but of course the reveal is part of it, but
Yeah.
her having like to save Alita somehow or help her in some way to redeem her character a bit more.
I mean, she does, but then like after the fact, you mean
Yeah.
after she says I'm out, like one more time or something?
yeah, something, I don't know.
I can see that. But I mean, that's it for me. Aside from what I talked about with the ending, I just had some issues with the character relationships and some of the acting with Hugo and his gang.
Cool. So that brings us to ratings. Or you have more qualms.
I do have more qualms.
Okay, let's get to the ratings so we can go to the qualms first.
So I was bothered by how lush everything is outside of Iron City, and how easy it is for people to leave Iron City, and no one's living out there.
Because there's no power.
You don't need it though.
You can make power.
Like
I mean,
I guess
campers don't
I
Find a
guess-
mill with some water.
Sure.
yeah, I guess it just bothered me because like
Live in the shadow of that city the whole life.
you're like, why would you stay there? There's so much scrap metal. You can go build a new
People
city
live
over
there.
Well,
there.
it's kind of like why do
People live
people
without power for
live
millions.
in LA when they can live in
Thousands of years.
Bakersfield?
Right.
Because that's where everyone wants to go
So
because they
everyone
want to
wants
get to
be a
Zalem.
motorball
But there are
artist.
people who live in Bakersfield.
Yeah, and there's our automated tractors in outside of
Yeah,
Iron
that's
City.
true.
Yeah.
Right. So it's kind of like no one wants to live outside because they want everything they want. A consumerist society is inside.
Also,
Fair
we don't
point.
know if there's
Like,
necessarily other people.
how many-
That's true. That's
Well,
true.
you do.
We don't know.
You do. You see people coming in when they're leaving
Yeah,
the border.
It's like a little.
that's
I was
true.
wondering
There's a
But
about-
whole
also,
line to come in. for
one
customs.
car leaves and then 5 people are waiting to get in. So obviously the want to get out is not as high as the want to get in.
Fair point.
So it's
Fair
built
point.
in. Yeah.
And plus,
We
like,
also don't know what's out there. It may look lush, but it might be dangerous
True.
and like,
because they call it the Badlands. So there has to be a
There's
reason.
also no
not great.
defense. To be fair, their entire civilization was almost wiped out by an attack. So the safest place to be is probably in the city.
Yeah.
with the Centurions.
Now that
That's
I'm thinking
fair.
about it,
Yeah.
I didn't think about that
Okay.
earlier because I was
Yeah.
like on board. I was like, yeah, why isn't anyone living out there? But now I'm like, the earth shook, the sky burned, and
Yeah.
one city stood. Be like, that's probably where I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
live.
that's probably. You're right.
rate
Yeah.
2 on Corey and 2 on Caitlin and then 1 on me.
One on.
What on you?
One on
Yeah.
me. So Josh
Sounds
and
right.
Ollie
I'm
go
wrong.
first.
Josh, you're first.
Yeah, you always make Ollie go first.
Reverse alphabetical.
3.8.
Nice.
Ollie,
3.9.
4.1.
You.
No, reverse alphabetical.
Yeah. So me then.
both times.
I was thinking about this the first time I saw it. It was a 3, but having thought about it and seen it the second time, it's a 3.5.
3.9. Yo.
I was right.
Damn.
Corey, you are
Yes.
the grump of the week.
Yeah. I'm still
Congratulations.
excited to see the rest. I have a lot of questions and that I'm excited to answer, but
It's a good thing that we want to see more.
it
Yeah.
just didn't hit a few
Yeah.
notes. Missed a few notes for me.
It makes me actually want to read more of the books. So like I actually ordered volume 2 and it's coming in the mail.
I would love to read the books probably. probably like that more.
Well, there's no old guy with dogs, so.
I
Well,
do.
then
Well,
never
I don't
mind.
want to read it anymore.
Fuck it.
Never mind.
But yeah,
I
End the
do.
episode.
I do
Let's
want
go.
to. I do want to say that have any of you guys seen Repo the Genetic Opera?
he has.
I had such strong vibes about that when Ito was going out to save.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
100%.
god!
Yeah.
All I was thinking was, did they just like watch Repo the Genetic Opera? And
I
then
wouldn't doubt that they have
do
some
this?
inspiration from it.
I'm sure.
Robert Rodriguez is a very like grindhouse feel guy, so
Yeah.
It was yeah. I just wanted to bring that up because the vibe from that was so strong.
You know what you got me thinking of now?
What?
Robert Rodriguez directing Repo. That would be
Welcome to
something
the
watch.
Repo episode.
Next time.
Next time on Nerd On.
Well, I feel complete.
I'm feeling complete.
Yeah.
Are you complete?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Everybody at home, thank you so much for listening. I'm mostly thank you.
I'm mostly
thank
and
you.
I'm
thankful.
mostly Corey. Thanks for watching.
For listening, for sharing, for all the support that everybody at home shows us. If you are new to Nerd On, you can check us out on nerdon.tv. That's the website. We are on Apple Podcasts and anywhere podcasts are heard. Drop us a review, share it with your friends, your families, or as Corey says, your enemies.
Because I said it.
Yeah, I didn't know that. We do have a monthly newsletter. You can go to our website to sign up for that. We have another podcast, as Tom mentioned earlier, Trope Time. It is once a month, first Monday of every month. Our friends Nikki and Izzy take you into the wonderful world of tropes and nerd culture. It's fun stuff. But yeah, that's it. You know the drill. As always,
Nerd on!
Ending broadcast.